Hello.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for you all being here today, especially, but also for saying yes to sharing your stories at Quest. We are going to wait just another minute or so. We do have a number of women who've RSVP'd who will be joining us and haven't popped in yet. Oh my gosh. I am recording this, and since you're here, you probably won't have to watch it again, but it's going to be available to you in case you want to. Um, let's see. I hesitate to get started, so sometimes when I'm speaking and someone comes into the waiting room, I'm clueless. So let's give this another 30 seconds. And in the
Mhm.
meantime, keep in mind, just sort of say to you all here today, this is an hour-long time with each other. It's only the beginning of the moments we're going to share as we lead up to April, but also um, I wanted to have this to do two things. First, yeah, see, here we have people coming in. Um, I wanted to introduce you to our two brilliant story coaches and introduce you to each other. And uh, there are steps along the way that I've built in with the help of the story coaches to make this process very enlivening and fun, but at the same time help you get clarity around the stories you want to share. Uh, so we've got, oh my goodness, everybody's popping in. So I'm just going to officially get started. Before we introduce each other, because I do want to spend a few minutes up front just saying who we are and where we're calling in from. We'll get to know you all better. We'll use this hour to talk a little bit about the story guide that I sent that hopefully you've had a moment to review, but we'll talk about that. We'll probably spend most of our time between making sure you're clear on what the process is so that you don't feel overwhelmed. We're starting here now, was it January 16th? We've got 3 months-ish, so there's plenty of time. And these stories aren't meant to be the whole stories of your life that you have to make so perfect. They're meant to be 6 to 9 minute stories about, here we have Meralda coming in, about a particular moment. I call them aha moments, when everything shifted, dots got connected, that whisper in your heart finally grew loud enough to have you listen. A devastating disruption to your life brought clarity. These are these moments are moments we all have, and we have many of them, medium, small, large, all over the place. But as I learned a little bit more as I dug in to understand really what an aha moment is, and beyond being named for this Egyptian king Horus aha, many like 3000 BCE. Beyond that, aha is a universal across languages, across cultures, a universal emission. It isn't always specifically aha. It's hope or, depending on the language. But neuroscience has shown that it's actually a neurologically based alignment, just like it is an alignment to something we know is true, something we know we need to do, change, be. I love, aha. I love it. It has meant a lot to me across time, and I think we're going to have fun together, working through how you want to pick a story you want to share because you have a lot of them. So, first of all, Oh my goodness, we're having a great showing of people. I love this. So here in the room are two story coaches, Xanthe Galenko, who's calling in from France and outside of Paris, and Amy Noobson, who's calling in from Minnesota. No, am I right? Okay, thank God. Sorry, flaked out there. I've known Xanthe, and many of you in 333 have known her for quite a while. And so you've known that she has done a number of things around digital storytelling facilitation, helping us pull out stories and bring them together with images and music to create video. She also does a lot of intergenerational work, she's an extremely creative soul. So I'm very pleased that she will be one of the story coaches. And Amy Noobson is a new friend who I met at Christina Vidovich. I don't know if Christine is able to be here today, but Christina Vidovich had a session or an amazing event in DC called Women Getting Visible around.
Nicole, I am just wondering,
Hello, could you please mute yourself if, because I just heard somebody talking. It would be helpful just so my brain can stay on task. So, um, Amy is a gifted storyteller as well as story coach. It has aligned for her as a passion. So I'll let them each, when we go around the room, say a little quick thing. But before we get into the process and the discussion today, I do want to give a chance. I love when I see all these beautiful, wonderful, smiling faces. I want everybody to have a moment, not to share a whole lot because I want to just move around relatively quickly, but to share briefly your name, where you're calling from, and if there's a one sentence why that you want to share a story, add that. If you don't want to add, don't worry about it. So we'll go. So I'm going to call your name because the alignment on the screen is always different for each of us. So Kate Higgins, the blooming beauty under the pink flower. So hi. Make sure you unmute yourself when you talk so we hear you.
Sure. Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Kate Higgins. I'm a therapist and coach for women in midlife. I'm based out of Sarasota, Florida. And God, I just had such a good answer like 2 seconds ago. I'm so happy to be sharing a story because our stories make us feel less alone. I think it's very easy to feel isolated in the world. And when we share a story, we automatically connect with other people and we share commonalities. So I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to share a story at Quest here.
Wonderful. Kate came to our first Quest event in Rhode Island. And as you said to me, you gave us the biggest compliment. She goes, I really didn't even look at the whole agendas, but something about it drew me in. And you said you immediately felt embraced by the women that are here. So I'm just so cool. It's, full circle. You're here and you'll be sharing a story. So thank you. Lori. Lori also was new, coming from the Quest event last year. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Crawford, and I live in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I'm a retirement life coach for Gen X women. And uh, well said, Kate. I completely agree with you. When we see that other women are experiencing something similar that we are experiencing, it does help us to not feel so alone. And perhaps it even gives us a potential path forward and to know that there is something different that we can work toward. For me, it's about, I think, self doubt to moving to self authority and being part of the all the examples of what that can look like.
Beautiful. Thank you. Amy. Now, Amy's one of the coaches, as I mentioned. So you can add a little bit about your passion for storytelling. It'd be great.
My name is Amy Noobson. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. For me, story has changed so much of my life. And I've watched when people have a powerful story that they share, they just, their whole body language will change. Their perspective of who they are, and they step into their own power. And that's what I love about storytelling, is giving people the voice that they already feel inside, but they get to visually or get to share it outwardly with other people and then connect with them. And that's what I think is beautiful about storytelling.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amy. Melissa.
Hey guys, hi. Melissa Davey, Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Used to be a corporate executive and then decided to become a filmmaker at 65. And now at 75, I have two
Yay.
feature-length documentary films uh, uh, telling women's stories, older women's stories. And why did I do that? Because I was an older woman, and I felt like the stories were missing from older women. So my goal was to go out there, find them, and help create them in a way that would be inspiring to other people. And I've watched people be inspired by the stories that I'm able to tell, and that is payment enough without the cash coming in. So,
Yeah, Melissa, I'll use this as a way to also introduce for those of you that don't know that I am back in COVID time, decided to deliver on what I really want to do in the world, which, like Melissa, is to share the stories of, I would call them the most extraordinary women. Don't have to be celebrities, don't have to be multi-billionaire CEOs in the 450 over 50. They just need to share stories of life and decisions and resilience and reinvention and joyful curiosity to be able to influence and shift. And I think all of you fall under the category. I know all of you fall under the category of women who are rewriting the story of what life after 50 is. We've been led by so many cultural, historical, embedded ageism from our mothers and those beyond. And with this longevity increase of, they say up to 30 years beyond what our great grandmothers had to live on this planet, it's really our time now to step out and share stories. So I read about Melissa, and during our first third act storytelling Zoom gathering, because hey, COVID, that was the most exciting thing we could do. Melissa said yes, jumped in, and blew my mind, and we've been aligned since. So I'm just so grateful. You're such an inspiring soul.
thank you.
Zante, our second storytelling coach. Nice to see you.
Yeah, hi everyone. So yes, I'm Xanthi. I'm Australian, as you can probably hear from my accent, but I'm calling in from France. I moved here just over a year ago. I have a background in research around social and emotional well-being, and I discovered storytelling in around 2019 and started doing research around the benefits of storytelling. And it just took over my life. I was like, okay, that's it. I found my thing. So storytelling for me is both empowering and powerful. So empowering, incredibly empowering for the storytellers, creating that story in whatever form you want to share that story, and sharing it with others, so giving a voice, amplifying voices, and really powerful for people hearing that story because, as Kate said, sense of belonging. People relate to other people's stories, and that can help other people make sense of the world and make sense of experiences that they're having through life. So, yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Zante. And next we have Patricia, who's a new friend that actually the magic of alignment and connection knows Wendy Knox, who's also here. Um, Patricia lives in Santa Fe, and we've just quickly aligned. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to be joining us. So welcome.
I am so grateful to be here. Thank you, Wendy, for hooking me in and looping me into this. And it's a privilege and a pleasure to work with you, Diana, as well. I have been telling other people's stories as an actress, and now I am telling my own stories and supporting people in the process of accessing their own third act quest through our archetypes for elders, which is something I'm developing this body of work. And prior to having both robotic open heart surgery last year and a massive brain tumor removed 3 months ago, uh,
Mm,
my life has changed significantly. It's benign, so I'm good. I'm really on the recovery trail, but it's just changed my life significantly, and I'm now a different person. Um, and I'm here to support other people in realizing, the better stories that they want to tell inside of themselves that help them to realize a more full, filled out life adventure for their third act.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Maria, are you calling in from the Middle East someplace now?
I am. I'm calling in from Dubai right now. It's
Wow.
about 9:15 p.m.
Mm.
Yes, I am an author, attorney, podcaster, uh, and book coach. And um, what else? You can learn more about me
What
at
else?
Maria.
I think you blow my mind. Like you whenever I feel like I'm, dancing on too many stages or whatever I would say, you blow my mind. You are masterful at weaving things together too, which is wonderful. Did
Well,
you
you're so
mention
kind.
podcaster? Because that's
Yes, I have a podcast called Becoming Your Best Version, and some of you have been on it. Diana has, and I hope all of you will be on it at one point. I amplify the voices of inspiring women. I've been doing it for 6 years. Every Friday, I drop a new episode. And let's see, my aha moment came at 50. I got divorced, became an or lived alone for the first time in my life, got sober from alcoholism, and tried 50 new things to determine how I wanted to live the next chapter, which became a TEDx talk and a book, an Amazon bestseller. And so I have a lot of aha moments, but they were really concentrated in the year that I turned 50 and discovered who I really was. So
wonderful.
I just realized today that I've been to 50 countries since I got divorced. That was 12 years ago. I got divorced. So I have wanderlust, been to every continent, and I just started a new project that I'll tell you about later, Diana,
Yeah, I
with
can't wait.
a woman I'm traveling with. So anyway, I'm really excited to be here. I'll be working with Dante on my aha moment story. I'm excited for that. I've quoted her in an article I wrote for AARP, but it's a fantastic group of people, and I'm so excited to be part of this. Thank you.
Oh, Maria, and as always, thank you for, it is relatively inconvenient time to pop in to join us. I appreciate that. Amy, how are you? Oh, Amy Collette. I just want to make sure you know.
Yes, we've got two Amy's on the call at least. Yeah. So, as you know, Diana, story is built into what I do. I help people, I guide them on their process of telling their stories through their books, and then helping them publish them. So, it's funny because I didn't really fall in love with storytelling until I've been doing this for a while. But the art and science of telling a story is really fascinating. There's a lot to it. Of course, we're all used to telling stories from when we're kids. We share stories. But there's a way that you can share a story that absolutely connects heart to heart with your listener, right? With your audience. I read in a book recently, I think it's How to Tell a Story by the Moth.
Mm.
If you're familiar with the Moth Talks, it's
Oh,
a great
yes.
book. And they talked about this scientific study that said when a storyteller is telling an engaging story, in other words, the audience is really leaning in and interested in it, the brain waves of the speaker and the audience start to align.
Wow, love that.
It's, I mean, it makes sense. We all know that intuitively, but it's actually been scientifically proven. So I love also the perspective that so many of you have, which is the story can be transformational for the listener, but it can also be transformational for the teller, right? Zante, I think you said empowerment, right? There's an empowerment there. And so many of you said it's life-changing and can build your confidence, build your understanding of your own power when you share a story that has meant something to you and has changed your life. So that's why I'm so passionate about stories, because it connects us not only to others but to ourselves and to the bigger world. And we need your stories and messages right now more than ever.
Wonderful. So Amy's going to be stepping on the stage as a storyteller, like several others of you in this room. I call it third act impact, and I'm going to go through the three types of storytelling segments at the Quest event. But you're also going to be leading a workshop. Right in the room now, just identify ahead of time also workshop leaders, Teresa Lissam, Diane Amelia, Madeline Nino are, I think that's all. I've captured everybody. Oh, there's Kate up there at the top, forgot, are going to be workshop leaders. We're not going to talk about the workshops today because we're focusing on storytelling, but I invited some of you who are not actually slated as an official storyteller to this, because I believe, and Amy knows this, is like when we give a talk, I mean, Lisa Danforth, who you'll hear from, is going to give a talk on our first day. She will most likely begin with a story. So I want us all to start internalizing this approach to maybe mining your memory for aha moments, because even if you're on not officially a storyteller, I will want to interview every single one of you on Zoom to capture your story at some point in time. So it adds to what will become call it a playlist, call it a treasure trove of the stories of women from all over, all types of aha moments, all types of aha stories, to follow through to share the stories we all need to hear. We are all craving them now. We are all needing them, especially now. Our stories matter to each other, not just because we're women, but to connect us as women, to uplift us, and to keep our focus on the possibilities of this life rather than being dragged down into fear-based or uncertainty. So I just wanted to make sure you know that. Anyway, so thanks, Amy, for stepping forward. I have worked with Amy in the past, and one day a book that I have in my head will come out. So thank you for your inspiration. Meralda Rodriguez, you are a brand new friend, and I'm so pleased you're here today. So introduce yourself if you would.
Hi, everyone. My name is Meralda Rodriguez. I'm calling in from Chicago. And I met Diana last month at her initial Quest event. I am a menopause coaching specialist. And my take on menopause is that it's a life stage and a backdrop. It is not necessarily your identity, and helping women understand that as they live their lives and blossom, it is who they're meant to be. Too many women I come across are busy yelling out the symptoms, and it is an experience far beyond the symptoms. My work comes by way of working in the last 5 years in the grief space through massage and functional medicine coaching. And that grief work, I did not know at the time, prepared me for this transition into coaching women in menopause.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad we've met, and I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you. Wendy.
Hi, I thought this was at 10 o'clock, so I've got
Oh,
wet hair and I'm a little discombobulated, but
hey, but you're here, baby.
I'm here and you're all inspiring me. So, my name is Wendy Knox. I live in Ojai, California, and I'm a recovering advertising creative director and now a writer, author, I guess, artist, and what I call an uplifter, which I think we all need these days. And I something happened to me at 50. I'd never thought about ageism or anything, but something happened. It's my story, so I'm not going to give it away. But something so magical and so life-changing happened that I've been talking about it ever since. And it inspired me to write my first book, and do the paintings for it. It was channeled through me. It's called From Muck to Magic. And I got that one published and had my first solo art show at 65. And now I have a new book coming out in February at 71 called The Way of the Dragonfly, Flight Instructions to Transform the Way We Age. And I've always been interested in stories. I used to think of myself as like a brand storyteller, which was a more elevated way to think about advertising. And I'm really interested in changing the stories I tell myself and helping other women change their stories, especially when it comes to aging. And when you hear my aha moment, you'll understand it all.
Ooh, you've
Coming
definitely
attraction.
captured us there. I love it. Thank you, Wendy, and thank you for sort of further affirming my belief in the power of connection. And I don't mean connection like give me your connection so I can get a job, but the connections of like-minded souls, because you somehow through your connection in the past with Patricia has connected her in with me and with us. So these little beautiful breadcrumbs. I love how that works. So
I
thank you.
called them golden breadcrumbs. And I mean, I was just on the internet one day, and for some reason, Diana and all of this popped up. And I know it was like magic, and it was like we'd always known each other. So I'm really looking forward to being in Santa Fe with all of you.
Thank you, Wendy. Lisa. Lisa is another fairly new friend that will blow your mind when she shares a little bit about what she'll be helping us um, align with ourselves. So, hi, Lisa.
Lisa Danforth. I am calling in from Fairhaven, Washington, my new home for exactly 2 months now, which is super exciting. And the question really is why storytelling? So my big thing is, so I'm a business mentor and well-being strategist, and I infuse human design with all of the work that I do, sometimes overtly, sometimes just a thread underneath. And my thing is really it's the conditioning, what the lens through which we've seen and experienced life for so many years, and especially in our third act, of how we have been conditioned to silence our voice, to behave in a certain way. And my big things is we didn't learn who to be in isolation. We learned who to be with relationship. And in order to move through that, I think telling our story, and as we've talked about, it seems like a big thread, which is, releasing the shame that we've had about who we are, who we want to be, allowing other people to see that they're not the only ones struggling. So when we can share our stories in a way that shows our scars and helps
Mm,
us understand the conditioning through which we see and experience life and silence ourselves and trim ourselves down, it allows other people, women specifically, to step into and own their brilliance and share it, claim their voice and use it, and know their worth and charge it.
yay. So, Lisa's going to be um, speaking on Monday, our first Monday of our event in Santa Fe. And what she's generously also offered to do, and you'll be hearing more about this later. She's She's actually going to come into 333 with a space where she'll be more regularly sharing thoughts around human design and owning our voices, and being clear on how to express in our lives. But she's going to be giving all attendees of the Quest gathering a link to get their human design report, which is extremely complex, as I've learned. But after many, many years of her own exploration, she's been certified to help explain what we need to know to use it as a tool rather than to know everything. So she's going to have a group session before Quest, and then she will speak so people will be prepared and more excited and enriched about what human design does. So we won't go into the details, but just stay tuned for another one of these gatherings that you can attend or will be recorded. It's important to me that our Quest experience is both before, during, and after. We aren't just coming and saying bye. So we can facilitate it with things like this. So thanks, Lisa. Yvonne, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to be here. My name's Yvonne Marchese. I am the host of the Late Bloomer Living podcast, calling in from Norwalk, Connecticut, but originally from El Paso, Texas. I call myself an age agitator and a play instigator. I'm a believer in do-overs. And yeah, story has been the through line. Storytelling has been the through line of my entire life. I started off as an actress in the theater, as a photographer. I try to use my photography to tell people stories, whatever I'm doing. That is why I love it. And that's what I do on the podcast as well, is tell the stories of people going through reinvention. And why I think stories are so important is they define us. And I think we can redefine ourselves through the stories that we tell ourselves as well. So I'm really excited to be part of this.
Wonderful. Thank you. And beyond sharing her story, Yvonne is also going to be our photographer. I'm so thrilled that you're willing to come and to do that. And in preparing for, we really are of the same mind. She's going to capture the moments. She's not going to like, oh, everybody stand there and look perfect. She's going to capture our moments of each of us speaking, of us laughing at our tables or whatever we do. Hopefully, there'll be some electric moments. I know there will be some electric moments. So,
I'll be looking for them.
oh my gosh. And what I love of what you said is, did you call it a fun instigator? Is that what you called yourself?
Play
A
instigator.
play instigator.
Yes, yes. I'm currently in a deep inquiry into how play can be a way to tap into joy, and a way to get back in touch with who we've always been.
Yeah, I just saw a video you had of you doing the hula hoop. I'm like, it just gave me joy watching it.
It was my Christmas present. It's been fun. It's right there. And
I love it.
yeah, take little breaks through the day. Shakes everything up.
Yeah, it does, literally. Thank you. Next, we have Marty. How are you, Marty?
Hi, everyone. I'm calling in from Albuquerque, my part-time home base, for the winter time, getting out of Vermont, and getting out of my camper van that no longer has heat.
Whoa.
Anyway, I relate to what everybody here has said. I am lucky to say that for over a decade, I've been hosting story sharing events called Show and Tales, based on show and tell from elementary school. I've hosted over 400 of them so
Oh
far.
my gosh.
I call them story sharing
as opposed to storytelling, and I identify more deeply with it because I find storytelling, as beautiful as it is, performative.
Yeah.
And I've gone to all those wonderful things like the Moth, and the minute the performance is over and everybody's clapped to see who won, everybody gets up and leaves. At all of my in-person events, everybody has stayed and made connections, and that's what
Nice.
my work is all about. Um, so I love what Amy's, all of you did, but I connected with Amy when she's and everyone here, even Yvonne, who just said about the transformative nature of sharing stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I have witnessed it over and over and over again, where the story was so tightly held. Um, and so trauma held. Um, but when it was, we invited these people to share their stories, the minute they started sharing it, you could literally watch them uh, get step back, step away from it, get perspective, because isn't that how we change our narrative about our lives? Is by having that space to see it, to view it differently. And yeah, so it's so powerful. And so I connected to this community through Diana's first COVID pandemic storytelling event, and I'm just so grateful to be here and be a part of this.
Thank you, Marty. I'm sorry that Brooklyn has no heat. Man. Ooh. So Teresa, hi, welcome. Teresa and Diane Amelia, who you'll meet, are going to be leading a really cool workshop that we'll hear more about, but you can nod to it now if you'd like.
Thank you so much, Diane, and thank you, everybody. I'm learning so much. As was said, I'm Teresa Lysam. I'm a co-facilitator with Diane Amelia Reed. I'm looking forward to meeting her in person for the first time in Santa Fe.
Wow.
We've
Wow.
only had a relationship like this through Zoom. I'm sitting here listening to everybody, and I have never seen myself as a storyteller, but as of late, I've really been learning a lot about it and the power of it and the impact of it. And so I'm leaning in that direction. So I'm so excited and eager to learn from everybody here through what we're doing today and this storytelling path that we're going to all be on. And I don't know, I'm just so excited about it. So thank you so much in advance for teaching me more about storytelling. And during the course of this conversation, I have a podcast called Evolving Women. And I was thinking, like, I guess I do help women speak their story on my podcast. And I didn't realize it till just now. So thank you so
Wow.
much.
Wow. It's such a natural, instinctive thing that we do since the beginning of time. It's how we communicate information, it's how we connect, it's how we survive. And the labels, I like your discernment between story sharing and storytelling, Marty. Um, it makes a difference to when we share a story with another person. We not only, share of our hearts, of our soul, but we also give them a little mirror, perhaps, for them to say, "Woo." One of the things I'll mention, and I'll get away from quickly, but I envision how this aha story thing will evolve over time is we won't always have a stage like we will as we're together for several days in Quest. But I tried something out last Sunday here in my neck of the woods with Ellen Smith, and we had a aha story gathering in person, sort of playing off the old-fashioned salon style gathering that people, but mostly women, have gotten together across history to process experiences, to connect around ideas and share perspectives. So we invited 12 women. I gave them a little reduced version of that big document I shared with you. And we spent some time, as I call, mining our memories for the aha moments that mattered. And I can't tell you how many of these 12 women didn't know each other before. And in 2 hours' time, were bonded. And the number of women that looked across a circle and said, the story you just shared, I had forgotten such a similar experience, and now it's starting to make more sense. So it's that kind of thing. It's like we're in our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever we are at this point. um, I like to say that, on our third act quest, if the Holy Grail is that which you seek, it isn't the end, it's the beginning. When you do connect those dots, when you figure out what you're wanting to and are called to do in this, that's just the beginning, and the exciting part just begins. So I'm just, I don't know, I went off on a little trail there, but the in-person nature of what we'll share in Santa Fe will hopefully be replicated in living rooms for the 333 women that want to raise their hand and say, let's have a gathering. So thank you. Madeline, welcome.
Thank you. So nice to see everybody this afternoon. Um, I'm a book coach and ghostwriter and help women with spiritual memoir, transformational stories, and self-help. So I've long been kind of in the weeds of helping people getting into the specificity of their own story. And so agree with everything that everybody has said about storytelling. So I won't repeat, but one of the tools that I use is also human design and Gene Keys, which is a bit of an offshoot of human design, to find our uniqueness, because storytelling can help us find our similarities and our alignment with others and our belonging. But also, I sort of see our humanity as we're all a really unique puzzle shape. And when we be our true weird puzzle shape, we can all sort of fit together and create this very powerful community and humanity where we're not all trying to be the same. And I love the specificity of stories because I think it opens up memory. I always use an example of a client of mine who used to refer to um, when she had a life-changing accident and then shared nothing about the accident. So once she got into the specific details, it opened up this whole world. So oftentimes I feel like we as women, or having grown up, I grew up in Catholic school where we couldn't use I in an essay. So to come all the way to sharing the specific details of our joy and trauma and ahas is so incredible and powerful. And I feel like that is what helps awaken memory and awareness in our readers and our listeners. So yeah, so I'm excited for Santa Fe.
Wow. Well, I'm excited. Now, you're yet another example. Marty McNabb connected with you, and you said yes and jumped in and came to Quest last year,
Yeah.
where we got to meet. And just so glad you like Kate and Lori. I think those were all of the ones that was your first adventure together. So just so happy you'll be a part of this.
Thanks.
Diane Amelia, hi.
Hey, hi, Diana Amelia Reed, sitting in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which is where I live. And Wendy, like you, I had the time in my mind wrong. So Diana, sorry for being a little behind it.
Oh, please, please. It may have been something on my end, so don't you worry.
No, totally me, totally me. I own it. So I missed the original question because I
just think it's less about your needing to share your story, but just your thoughts about your why of wanting to be a part of this, and anything you wanted to add. That's all. This is free form.
Okay. Not gonna lie, I saw the pictures from last time, had a little FOMO about missing this time for real. It just looked wonderful. But to step into a community, as I listen to each of you speak, my little energy field is going ping, 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 and it's such a cool feeling. And I'm so excited to be invited to share an aha moment. And it was a big one. It changed my life and brought me here. And, as the universe would have it, intersected me with Teresa. And we've been business partners now for quite a while, and we still have not met in person. So this is going to be super awesome. And our workshop is going to be so much fun. Having the strength to rise and tell your story is the arc of ours. And it's going to be fun. And I'm just super psyched.
Diane Amelia has a guiding light and a power to inspire. One of the things that, for those of you that are in 333, how many of those daily tidbits
The
did you
Daily Pebble.
Your Daily Pebble is still live, listed in 333.
Well, and true confessions, I found myself marching through the kitchen yesterday going, la da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da da. So that tells me, okay, time to go again.
Oh my goodness, I love it. There's so much we're all going to learn about each other, not just the moments we'll share or the workshops we'll lead, but just so you know, the plan for our time together during the sessions, they're going to be speakers, but each of the speakers and storytellers will be intentionally around creating interaction at the tables where women will sit together. It's not a sit and take notes kind of thing. It's like be inspired to have a cool private conversation at your table. So there's going to be a lot of learning what brought us not only to Santa Fe to be a part of it, but what brought us to this time in our lives where we're, as I say, the unifying element of all of you and of 333 Women is just this fierce curiosity and a positivity, and a knowing that there's joy to be pursued, there's meaning to be to coalesce in our third act. And, I say to people, nirvana is that figuring out why you're here thing, and being able to have influence or impact or positive, make a difference, whether it be to 3 people or 300 people or 3,000, it doesn't matter. It is, it's something that we all seek, I think. So, oh, and Tanya, we see you. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm glad to be here with all these women. Um, so I'm a photographer and a podcaster. I think I have a twin on this call. And I tell women's stories on my podcast of recovery and how they repair and heal and recover after life gives you that gut punch that we all sort of encounter sometime along the way. And my core message has always been, it's a great day to be alive. Every day is a great day to be alive. And then I want people to understand that we have one precious life. I think we take advantage of that, take that for granted. And And when I was 21, I was diagnosed with something that I thought I would be dead in 2 years. And Diana and I met during that time after my diagnosis. And so I've known her for a long time. So I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to get back on a stage. I used to do some speaking when I was young, because of my diagnosis. And so I'm going to just leave you with that hook, and I'll talk more about my story in Santa Fe. And yeah, just glad to be here.
Just glad you're here. And
Yeah,
that
you too.
coincidentally is the name of her podcast, You Are Here. Um, and I'm looking around this room, and some of your stories I know intimately, some I don't know as well, but I think we all share moments that were pretty damn challenging, but we have also embraced what you articulated so beautifully, Tanya, is the realization is that this life is a miracle. And the fact that we are on this, computer screen looking at each other from all over the world or all over the US or whatever, and aligning and coming together with an intention that is so beautiful. Yeah, we're going to get, lit up ourselves, but we are doing what we're doing, all of us, I feel, to shine a light out in the world, to support other women and to support other people. And I don't glibly say we are rewriting the story of what life can be after 50.
Mhm.
We are part of a movement that isn't fighting ageism. We are contributing to reframing aging. We are contributing to fight ageism, let's say, by understanding, by connection. Um, One of the women at this salon gathering we had last weekend was talking about her aha moments. I mean, she has gone through a lot, but she just said how she's realized over the course of her life, she goes, if we are like pudding, that little film that forms on the top of pudding, she said, all you have to do is pull back that skin and it can all come together. She said it just is a thin veil that separates us as humans or to the natural world, whatever you want to call it. But so you haven't met all of the amazing women that are coming forward. There are a number of others that I won't name, but I will say that we're all going to not just be inspired by each other, but we're going to, and I'm feeling it with a lot of the women that I've known over the years, it's like we are going to be potentially new lifetime friends. There's a stage in life where you really realize that some of the people you surround yourself with, especially those of us who've been in a corporate world, we've worn masks, we've not been truly ourselves. And this is a time we'll come back to who we really are. And we're all seeking that. So we are all, in so many ways, doing that in our work, in our books, in our coaching, in our everything we do. So I'm realizing we've almost used up this entire hour, but things that I want to do very quickly, sort of more housekeeping process-based things. So bear with me, we've got another 7 minutes. So I've answered this question for a number of you, but basically we've got Amy and Zante. We have 3 different sections of story. And when I sent your emails out to you with an invitation, you're either part of what I'm calling, let me see how I properly called it, um, third act impact stories, stories of purpose, calling, and contribution. That's the first Monday call, first Monday afternoon after a number of talks and engaging things. Tuesday night, they're more general aha stories. And then on Wednesday morning, for the sake of labels that may not mean as much to you right now, but I call them Becoming Me, stories of remembering and reclaiming who we truly are. So I've put lists together and made Zante and Amy aligned with who they'll be working with individually. And the way it will work is um, we're going to quickly touch on a segment of that guide I sent you. Before I talk too much about the process, I'm going to flash it up on the screen for us all to see and make sure we're knowing what I'm talking about. So I'm going to share my screen and please let me know. Hopefully I'm not flashing something wrong here. Okay, so this should say, let's see, a curated set of memory opening quotes. Are you all seeing that? Okay. So it starts on page 9. I think it goes from 9 to 18 of that document. Now, you don't have to attach to all these quotes and you have to look at all these prompts, but some are gonna get you. Some of you already know the aha moment you want to share. Some of you may be trying to discern which might be the best, more inspiring, or the one you really, maybe it's one you haven't figured out before. Maybe it's something that comes after you read through these. So I encourage you to start on this. I'm not going to go through them all, but I had 2 pages of general ones. And then I did some more digging in and I said, okay, what kinds of quotes out there might help us discern stories about that moment when our values, our creativity, our experiences all aligned and we said, this is mine to do. This is what I'm going to do at this stage to make a difference, to make impact. And the women that'll be in this are in particularly in, aren't necessary Jane Goodall types saving the natural world, but they happen to be women. Like all of you could fit here, though, I think, to share stories of impact for other women. There are a bunch of quotes here, and the story prompts, I think, crystallize, and you can take your own interpretations, but they're almost like little ignition to mining your memories. So glance through those and see which one you might want to journal about them and have some fun with them. So, and then likewise, the becoming me quotes and prompts are here. Um, this one I loved. I just discovered. And the day came when the risk to remain tight as a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. So, I
One of
mean,
my favorite
all,
quotes. Oh my God, I love that quote.
oh, they're all amazing. So, but they're all a little different. So, what I'll ask you to do in these upcoming weeks, we've got 3 months before you'll stand up in front of each other to share these formally. But what both not Lisa, Amy and Zante and I have talked about separately is that so coming out of this, if you can go through those prompts, start to think, maybe 1 or 2 aha moments, you know, jot down thoughts. Don't write the story yet, maybe, but just sort of say, this is what I want to share. Understanding on the final pages of that guide are what I'm seeing as a 6-step story arc. And I took from various storytelling methodologies and modalities, including Moth. And Zante and Amy may bring more meat to the bone because that's their expertise and not mine. But what you'll do is you'll wait to hear from them. They'll reach out to you and schedule a conversation. It isn't for you to have the whole thing written and they go, oh, change the and to an and or something. It's really just to have a really fun time to get feedback. All of you are brilliant. I don't think anybody's going to struggle with this, but I think a coach is what a coach should be, which is to suggest an external, more objective feel. Does that sucking me into, not, I hate that. Is that pulling me in, leaning in to hear more and go, oh my gosh, I got to know this. So they're going to give you good feedback. So you'll have that session with them, and then um, they may have process nuances, but just wait to hear from them to take the lead. But in the interim, just go through the guide, the prompts, think, and start jotting notes. And that's all you're really expected to do now. And then between then and Santa Fe, you will write your story. And this is important, and we'll refine this later, but you're not meant to memorize word for word these stories. You're meant to know them, feel them, maybe read them enough so that when you stand up, you come out authentically. And that will also help us keep within the time limits. There are a lot of stories. So that's why I say 6 to 9 minutes. We'll have some buffer, but these are meant. I was talking to Patricia early and I said, I'm not going to flash the lights when you start going long, but we have to help each other be conscious of time. I will also say, I did a talk at Christina Vidovich's thing, and I wrote it the night before, I'll tell you. And I came because she didn't have a story prompter, thank God. I came with my paper, and I don't think it totally took away from my talk. It probably did partially if I was like, going like that. But if you are more comfortable with bringing a card with little prompts, fine. You are not meant to be, delivering the Gettysburg Address or something. So and also we'll get a lot more of this, so I don't need to go into the weeds here. I just want to close because it's 1 minute past. I want to close with another expression of like goosebump worthy gratitude for each of you. I can't believe I know you. I can't believe the magic of all we're creating together. And I just am so thankful. So please have a beautiful rest of your day. Feel free to reach out. And Zante and Amy and I will circle our wagons and get out to each of you as we move forward. But thank you again. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you, Diana.
Thank you.
Diana, thanks everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And
I
Diane.
will not be on the writer's call. Just gonna let you know now.
That's okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I have some work to do. So yeah.
You know what? Neither am I. I should have canceled it. I forgot. I'll do that
Zembe's
now.
probably the only one on there. And I was thinking all three of us are on this call, so I'm just gonna tell her right now I won't be there. Okay.
Adore you. See you soon.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye.